Welcome to the Valley Biz Buzz, brought to you by the West Valley Warner Center Chamber of Commerce. I'm Diana Williams, the Chief Executive Officer and founder and producer of Valley Biz Buzz. Thank you so much for joining us today, ladies. We have our wonderful show host, Jen Spada, to start us off with episode 2 of season 2. Let's give a shout out to this wonderful company that Jen's working for. Tell us, Jen.
Hey, Jen here. I work for BOK. It's a water full of trace minerals, gives you super hydration. Cheers, ladies. Here's to a great show.
Cheers.
Cheers. Ladies, I'm going to join the audience. Have a wonderful time.
Thank you. Always
Bye-bye.
Good to see you.
Thanks, Di.
Once again, welcome to Valley Biz Buzz. I'm your host, Jen. Today's guest is an influential and inspiring leader here in our West San Fernando Valley and neighboring communities. The United Chambers of Commerce recognized her among 2020's Inspirational Women. My friend and chamber member, Miri Rossitto, is the founder and CEO of Cowe Communications, an award-winning business and brand development firm located in Woodland Hills. Cowe Communications creates winning strategies for businesses and organizations worldwide. Welcome, Miri. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today on the West Valley Warner Center Chamber of Commerce Valley Biz Buzz podcast and video.
I can't believe we're here. I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe we're finally doing this. This is so weird.
We've been talking about podcasting 8 years now, so it's finally happened.
For here. I love it.
Awesome. Good to see you as always. Miri, as you know, at our chamber, we acknowledge that businesses grow according to the relationships that we create, build, and nurture. We talk about it all the time. We use people we know, like, and trust. So, of course, and I know you're going to love this, we would like to hear about Miri, the person.
Wow. No. Can we talk about anything other than that? You know, it's a short story. I grew up here in Los Angeles. I have a family here in Los Angeles, 2 daughters, a husband, a gaggle of pets, and I love the San Fernando Valley. So anything I can do to be here, that's what I do. I eat, sleep, breathe business and brand development, and I raise my family here. So that's me.
I also have a little, we're friends, so I know that you have a little bit of an RV life. Can you tell us about that?
I do. Look at you bringing all those skeletons out. So yes, I do. RVing is something. We own a 36-foot RV, and we like to go camping. I love traveling by the road. There are things that you just don't get to experience by plane. And so I have this dream about being a Griswold. And so it's, we're making that dream come true. Not Cousin Eddie. Let me just make that clear. But like Clark and the road trip. So it's like a mishmash. But yeah, I do love RVing.
If you need a Cousin Eddie, I'm your gal.
All right. I'll take you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for letting us know a little bit about your personal life. I know that many of us are extremely happy that you left the 90210. So we could have you here in the greater West Valley. So let's move on to your professional world. The growth and success that we have witnessed, from the chamber point of view. I mean, it's incredible. It's the best testimonial that says Miri Rossitto and Cowe Communications has a winning strategy in helping businesses grow. And as you and I have spoken about 1 billion times, there are so many pieces to this pie, thousands of pieces to the brand development pie. People say, what should I do? I have no idea what to do, or they already know what to do and they need help doing more, or, focusing in on what more means. So given that, and again, that this conversation could be 10 hours long, what can you share with us here today that could help someone, watching this video when it comes to brand development?
Yeah. So yeah, 10 hours, 10 months, 10 years, it's an ever evolving world that I'm obsessed with. I think, for anybody watching this, and if you're kind of diving into your brand and where do I start? Where do I go? Where do I put my money? Where do I put my time? Always comes down to time or money. It's really the place that I start from is your audience. So who are you talking to? Who is your product for? Who has the problem that needs solving? And then working backwards from there. And so much of what we do at Cowe always really comes down to kind of these three buckets of introduction, realization, and follow-up. And if you can think about who you're talking to, and then think about those experiences. So the introduction experience, the realization experience, and the follow-up experience, that will really help dictate your brand experience. And then from there, you can really start to drill down into where do I put my money? Where do I invest in, technology, software, people, processes? That's really where you go from there. So when you think about how people first are introduced to your brand and your business, and what does that look like? What does that feel like? And the same thing with the realization of, now that in the realization, now that you're delivering that promise that you gave in the introduction. I really feel strongly about follow-up. That's where I think 99% of people kind of drop the ball, and you need to have the whole experience, and follow-up really never ends if you've done your job right. And so that dictates the whole brand experience. And that's really where I think anyone who's watching this today can kind of just sit with those three buckets and think, how am I doing that right? What am I doing wrong? Where do I need to maybe tweak things and invest in places, time or money? And that will really help them to dictate their brand experience.
Amazing, and a mouthful, and just such a fascinating world. And given what a monumental thing this is that you do for businesses, when was that light bulb moment for you that said, I want to go do this?
I wish that was really like some sophisticated glossy answer that people would be like, wow, she's known this since she was like 7, but no, I have not. Many years ago, I was VP of sales and marketing for a business planning firm, and I loved helping people build their plans. It was a really good step for me, but business plans are a cloudy crystal ball, and unless you execute those plans, there's really nothing else to them. They're just an idea. So I became obsessed with executing the plan. And so I started my firm. I got an office at the French Quarter in Woodland Hills. It was like this tiny one-room little office. And it actually started out as a consulting firm. It was Cowe Consulting. And I was just going to help people, with their plans and executing them. And then the realization was that it wasn't just about the plans and the execution of those strategies, but it was helping them then implement those strategies. And then it was helping them publicize those strategies. So the evolution of what people needed, again, the problem solving part, it became bigger and there was an opportunity. And so I ran with it, and my business partner, Nicola, and I, have gone through this evolution together, and I couldn't be here without her today. I can come up with the visions. She is brilliant when it comes to the process and the procedure behind it. Ironically enough, the execution that I feel so strongly about, turns out I'm just not very good at it. So that's what we do. And now we're a full-fledged communications firm, and that's what we spend all our time doing.
That's so cool. We love our policies and procedures and our SOPs.
Love them.
So I remember the day that you called us up. You had joined the chamber, and you called Diana and I, and you said, "Ladies, I'm over in the French Quarter. Come see my new office." And we got in the car, we ran over there, and it was so cute. And you were just sitting there with your laptop, and you're like, let's see how it goes. Now, fast forward, that was 2015. I think it was around August 2015. Fast forward to, you have grown your team. You've expanded your services. You are a one-stop shop. So, and with that is, you know, you've attracted like an extremely talented staff. You know, you have to have the right staff to make sure that, you know, all of these policies and procedures and, you know, the whole huge piece of the pie falls into place right. And I know that another thing that's very important for you is making sure that your staff is, you know, communicated with well and, you know, happy, and actually, you know, making sure that each staff member has their own unique footprint in the business according to what they're good at, what their expertise is, what makes them happy. And could you just tell us a bit about like how you did that, how you got this amazing staff, you know, in your staff selection, like how did you go about selecting your staff and building the right team so that you could go expand all your services and, you know, essentially be able to offer businesses a one-stop shop?
Yeah. You know, when I started Cowe, I was, you know, a lone wolf. I was independent. And to be honest with you, I didn't think that I played well with others. And then I partnered with Nick, and she was a game changer for me, because the realization that I could do what I was good at and she could do what she was really good at, and we could build it from there. And so when we started building our team, we really focused on two things. It was what did people love to do, and what were they good at? And that's it's an interesting intersection, because there are people that like to do certain things and they might not be really good at it. And there are people that are really good at stuff and they might not love to do it 24/7. And so whenever we meet new staff members, it's really, our first question is, what do you love to do? Because I want to funnel all of our resources and our time and our money into what they love to do and what they're good at, because the results are extraordinary, and that really shows in our team. And so we also follow that same ethos. When we talked earlier about brand experience, we feel that internally as well. So introduction to Cowe, you know, we want people to feel welcome and loved and appreciated. So that introduction is important. The realization, the work experience, you know, are they happy there? Do they have everything that they need? You know, are we investing in them, not only, you know, in their life, but in what they're doing outside of their life? And are we supporting that in all kinds of ways? And then the follow-up. And the follow-up is helping them to feel appreciated, helping them grow in their career. I think that the idea that somebody's going to be part of Cowe for the next, you know, 5,000 years, it's unrealistic. So look, they're going to grow, they're going to move on. And so how can we support that? How can we support their dreams and their talents? Because we're probably, you know, just a part of their journey. And so Nick and I are never not so in love with our staff. We try really hard. And to their credit, they also do it on their own. I mean, I do not, if I didn't do another video, it would be fine. But you know what? It takes the team to come in and say, hey, you should be doing this. This is good for you. And being open to their ideas. It's really an extraordinary experience. I'm very, very lucky.
Your Cowe videos are amazing and so helpful. You know, you can learn a lot in 60 seconds. And I recommend everybody follow you on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter. You're on all of them. You know, the staff and the talent that you attract, you know, it really comes from leadership. And, you know, the longevity, the employee morale, you know, it all comes from you and Nicola. And I think it's just so awesome to have seen you grown so much. So to sort of dial it back to, you know, when you initially, you know, came into the chamber office and said, hey, I'm Miri Rossitto.
Life-changing, Jen. Life-changing. I mean, it really truly was. I mean, there I was, started Cowe Consulting, had an office, had nowhere to go. Like, what am I going to do? Happened to be walking in the Promenade Mall, came across the chamber. I will never forget hearing your voice on the other side of the partition. Who is that? Like yelling over the side. I come running around. I was like, ooh, I am going to like it here. And so that was an extraordinary experience. And then kind of taking that and without exaggeration, the chamber truly changed my life. And so changed my business. The business wouldn't be here. You know, when I joined, I didn't really even know what the chamber did, what it was, you know, what it could do, anything like that. Then I got a phone call from Bonnie Abel, and who owns Nothing Bundt Cakes. And she invited me to come by her store to pick up a bundt cake and say hello as a new member. And I did, which was outside of my comfort zone. There were so many things outside of my comfort zone. And I went over there and I met her, and Bonnie took the time to sit down and say, so tell me about what you're doing and all of that. And then she led me to say, you know, you should join this and you should be a part of this. And then I went to a luncheon, and it was an awards luncheon, and I didn't know anybody. That's a funny story. I didn't know anybody, and it was 11 o'clock and I ordered a white wine, and then no one else was drinking, but that's another story for another day. Be that as it may, I met Kathleen Sterling, and Kathleen Sterling, Valley News Group publisher, and she took me out to lunch and started talking to me about, you know, all of the things. Nora Ross, Valley Cultural Foundation, you know, and the chamber then, you know, I got more involved. I joined a connection circle, and that connection circle led me to meeting Nicola, and would not have met my business partner if I hadn't gone to the chamber connection circle. And Savannah, who we couldn't live without, she too was a part of the chamber. It just, you know, you look back, and they always say, you know, Steve Jobs, you could look back and connect the dots. And so when you're on the journey, you always have to believe that the dots connect. And so just keep moving forward. And you have to show up though, right? So again, you can have a plan, but if you don't execute it, it doesn't mean anything. And being a part of the chamber was, you have to show up. And extraordinary things happen. You don't know who you're going to meet. You don't know who those people are going to be 5 years later, 10 years later, you know, how they can help, how you can help them. I think that was the other thing, was I spent a lot of time going to the chamber, just trying to see how I could help other people. And that was transformative. And so I truly firmly believe that the chamber is an essential part of the entrepreneurial journey, and it changed my life. And I know it's changed the lives of so many other business owners.
I think that was the best testimony we have ever received. That was absolutely incredible, and encapsulated so many things that are a benefit of being a part of the, you know, the chamber community, our chamber community, which I think is so special.
It is.
Miri, I cannot thank you enough for joining us today, you know, and sharing who you are, sharing your expertise, sharing, you know, your growth. And, you know, this is how other people, you know, figure out how they're going to grow too. So speaking of growth, how does one get a hold of you, Miri?
Well, thank you for asking, Jen. You know, the best way to reach me is Miri, M-I-R-I, at Cowe, COWE.com. You can email me anytime. I obsessively check my emails. So anytime you need, you can call me, 818-970-9177. Go for it. Just call me. It's my cell. I will totally answer.
Is it ringing yet? Is it ringing yet?
I know, right? Hello? So I love that. And I, Jen, you know that I think that this is fantastic, and you are a brilliant host, and you know that you speak to my brand loving heart. So anything business and brand development, I love that the chamber's doing this. I love that you're doing this. I really appreciate being here today. This was really fun.
Well, I appreciate Diana giving me the opportunity to do this, because the chamber has been near and dear to me since like 2006. That is a long, long time, which, you know, speaks highly about what it is they offer. Miri, thank you again for joining us on West Valley Biz Buzz. I can't wait for your phone to ring off the hook.
Thank you, Miri, for being with us today. And thank you, Jen, for being a wonderful show host.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Diana.
everybody.
Thank you, Miri. Have a wonderful week, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.